So from this given, so first, if we connect all the centers of the circles, so we're forming a triangle, and from the circle C, so from the center to any point of the circle, this one is the radius, and for circle B, so this one is also the radius because circle B and C are identical. So therefore, the radius of circle B and the radius of circle C are equal. So this one is also the radius for circle B and circle C. And from circle A, since the radius is 5, so therefore this side is equal to 5. This side is also equal to 5. Then if we draw a line to this side, and this is also equal to 5, and if we extend this line, so we have now these two identical right triangle, then we just name this side side X, and from these two identical right triangle, so if we're going to use one of the right triangle, then this side is equal to R, and this side is the sum of these two sides, so this is X plus 5. Then for this side, the sum of R plus 5. Then since this one is a right triangle, this is the 90 degrees angle, so we can use now the Pythagorean theorem, and this is the hypotenuse. So we have the sum of R plus 5 to the power 2, and this is equal to the square of the sum of X plus 5 to the power 2, then plus the R squared. Then to simplify, so to expand this binomial, this is equal to R squared plus 10R plus 25. Then equals, to expand this binomial, this is equal to x squared plus 10x plus 25. Then bring down this r squared. Then since on this side we have this positive r squared, this is also positive r squared, so this one is equal to 0. Then also positive 25, positive 25, this one is also equal to 0. So the remaining, so we have 10r equals x squared plus 10x. Then to solve for r, so divide both sides by 10, cancel. So therefore r equals x squared plus 10x over 10. And this is now the equation number 1. Then this time to find out the equation number 2. So if we draw a line on this area to form another right triangle, and since from the center to any point of the circle, this one is the radius, then from this right triangle, so if we're going to use this right triangle, and this side is equal to R, then this side is equal to X. Then for the hypotenuse, since this one is the radius of the larger circle, and that's equal to 10, and this one is R, so therefore this side is equal to 10 minus R. Then using now the Pythagorean theorem, And this one now is the hypotenuse. So we have the square of 10 minus r, then equals x squared plus r squared. Then to simplify, so to expand this binomial, this is equal to 100 minus 20r plus r squared. Then equals, so bring down this x squared plus r squared. Then observe that we have this positive r squared, and on the other side, positive r squared. So this one is equal to 0. So we have no 100 minus 20r equals x squared. And this is now the equation number 2. Then we can combine these two equations. So from equation number 2, we just need to replace this r by this equation. So from equation number 2, so we have 100 minus 20 times r, and r is equal to x squared plus 10x over 10, then equals x squared. Then to simplify, so this 20 divided by 10, this is equal to 2. Then to simplify, so this negative 2 times 2x, that's negative 2x. Negative 2 times 10x, that's negative 20x. Then transpose this positive x squared. So this becomes negative x squared, then equals 0. Then we can combine these two terms. So we have negative 2 minus 1. That's negative 3x squared. Then arrange. So we have negative 20x plus 100 equals 0. Then to make this first term positive, so multiply the whole equation by negative 1. So this becomes positive 3x squared, positive 20x, and negative 100 equals 0. Then since this one is a quadratic equation, and we can solve this quadratic equation using the quadratic factoring. So for the factors of 3x squared, this is equal to 3x times x. And for the factors of this negative 100, so that's 10 times 10. But since this one is negative, so one of these factor is negative and one is positive. So for this factor, this is negative and this one is positive. Then to check, so we have this negative 10 times x. This is negative 10x. And 3x times positive 10. This is positive 30x. Then you add. This is equal to positive 20x. And positive 20x is the middle term. So these are now the factors for this quadratic equation. Then to solve for x, so equate these two factors to 0. So we have 3x minus 10 equals 0. Then x plus 10 equals 0. Then to solve for x, so transpose this negative 10. So that becomes positive 10. And to solve for x, divide both sides by 3. So x equals 3.33. And for the other factor, so transpose this positive 10. So we have x equals negative 10. Since x is negative, so just ignore this value. So therefore, x is equal to 3.33. Then this time, since we have now the value for x, so we can solve now the radius of circle C and circle B. So just substitute now the value for x to this equation, and the radius is equal to the square of 3.33 square plus 10 times 3.33 divided by 10. Then we have the radius equals, so the square of 3.33 is 11.09 plus 10 times 3.33, that's 33.3, then divide by 10. So therefore the radius is equal to 4.44 meters. So the radius for circle B is 4.44, and also the radius for circle C is 4.44 because circle B and C are identical. Since we have now the radius of circle C and B, so we can find now the area of the shaded portion, and this is circle A, circle B, and circle C. Then we have the radius of circle A. This is 5, and this one is also 5. And for the radius of circle B and C, that's 4.44. Then this one is also equal to 5. Then to extend, this one is x, and x is 3.33. So we have now these two identical right triangle. So using one of this right triangle, and this side is 4.44, then this side is 4.44 plus 5, that's 9.44. Then this side is 5 plus 3.33, that's 8.33. And this one is for B. So first, we need to find the angle for B. And to solve for angle B, so we can use the sine function or the cosine function. So using the cosine function, so we have angle B equals the inverse cosine of 4.44 over 9.44, because cosine is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse, and this is the adjacent and this one is the hypotenuse. So to find now angle B, so we have shift, then cosine, so that's inverse cosine, then 4.44 divide by 9.44 equals, so angle B is equal to 61.94 degrees. Then since angle B and angle C are identical, therefore angle C is also equal to 61.94 degrees. Then this time to solve for angle A, and this is angle A, and this one is part of angle A, then the sum of these two angles is equal to 90 degrees. So we have this A plus B is equal to 90 degrees. But since this one is half of angle A, so therefore to solve for angle A, so this is 2 times 90 minus angle B, and angle B is 61.94. So we have now angle A equals, so we have 2 then times 90 minus 61.94, then equals, that's 56.12 degrees. So angle A is equal to 56.12 degrees. Now take note that this is 2 times because this one is just half of angle A. So we have these two angles, that's why this is 2 times. So we have now the three angles, angle B, angle C, and angle A. So we can solve now the area of this triangle. And to find the area of this triangle, so we can have the product of these two sides, then times the sine of the included angle, or the product of these two sides times sine of this included angle, or the product of these two sides times sine of this included angle. So for this problem, I'm going to use these two sides. So the product of these two sides, this is 9.44 times 9.44, then times sine of this angle A, and angle A is 56.12 degrees, then over 2. Then to find now the area of this triangle, so we have 9.44 times 9.44, then times sine 56.12, then equals, then divide by 2, equals, so we have 36.99 meters squared. So this is now the area of the triangle. Then this time we can find now the area of sector A. And to find the area of sector A, so using the formula, so we have pi times the square of the radius, and the radius is 5, so we have 5 squared, then times the angle, and angle A is 56.12 degrees, then divide by 360 degrees. So this is how to find the area of the sector of the circle. So to find now the area of sector A, so we have pi is 3.14, then times 5 squared, then times this 56.12 equals, then divide by 360, so that's 12.24. So the area of sector A is 12.24 meters squared. Then this time to find out the area of sector B, so this area, so again the formula, so we have pi times the radius for B, that's 4.44 squared, times the angle for B, that's 61.94 degrees, then divide by 360. So to find out the area of sector B, so pi is 3.14 times 4.44 squared, then times this 61.94 equals, then divide by 360. So the area of sector B is 10.65 meters squared. Then to find the area of sector C, since circle B and C are identical, so therefore the area of sector C is also equal to 10.65 meters squared. So since we have now all the areas, so we can find now the area of the shaded portion. So from the area of a triangle, That's 36.99 minus the area of sector A minus the area of sector B minus the area of sector C. So we have 36.99 minus 12.24 minus 10.65 then minus 10.65 equals, so the area of the shaded portion is 3.45 meters squared.